The only thing is, I'm concerned for what people are gonna think when they see my results. Like, yeah, I'm concerned. Maybe people judge me, or or like people are like, this guy sucks, or so. What do you think about that? What do you think? Am I gonna have disadvantages for showing this to the world?
No, I really don't think you will, Armani. In fact, the the fact that you were transparent and the fact that you were willing to be open and bare your soul with people are going to allow the people that want to work with you, the type of people that you want to work with, they're going to see that you are a real person. They're going to see that due to the fact that you were willing to say, this is who I am. This is how I live real life. This is what I value. This is what's important to me. Here are the people I've hired on my team that support me in the areas that I'm not the most gifted at, so that together we serve our clients at the highest level. That transparency and revealing yourself to them is going to endear people to you. And in fact, it's going to attract the type of customer that you prefer to work with. Now, there's a small element out there of people that are very logical, analytical, that don't give a rat's hind end about anybody, and they simply want the job done. Not your customer, because they're going to irritate you, because all they're going to want is, when's this project going to get done? They don't care about the outcome. They just want the project done. That's not the person you're going to attract. So by bearing your soul and saying, this is who I am, this is how I live real life, and being transparent, you've actually invited the type of customer you want to work with to seek you out, because they're going to feel like when they engage with you, I already know Arman. I know his values. I know his beliefs. I know where he's struggling in life. I'm there too. And this is the type of guy that I want to work with. And because you've been transparent, you've really elevated that know you, like you, trust you factor that's going to, again, attract that customer that you can best serve, and that they're going to get the desired outcome that they want, because you're going to make sure that happens.
Okay, yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
the invitation. So you come in, as I look at you, uh, you are a heartfelt individual, independent, impulsive, who is very people and cause focused in the way that you live life. Now, I'm just looking here at just the initial letters, and we haven't even gone in to look at the detail yet. So
Okay.
this is just what I know from looking at the arrangement of the letters of your pattern.
Sounds accurate. Sounds
Am I doing
accurate.
good so far? Yeah.
Yes.
When you get under stress, you tend to procrastinate, because the people you care about, you don't have a big enough picture of where you need to go to get them to see success, to be able to take the action that you need to serve them at the highest level. That pushes you into stress, and you tend to procrastinate or move much slower in your decision-making process, because you don't have everything you need in terms of the structure, the detail, and the big picture of where they want to go to ultimately get them to get the results they desire in life. Under
When I'm
severe,
in stress, I procrastinate.
yes, sir.
Int- Could be.
And
Could
then
be.
under severe stress, you're going to become much more controlling, because the people that you care about aren't getting the results that they want. And you're not going to be as compassionate about the people that aren't helping you get them the results that they want. And you're going to be much more task oriented in seeing that they get the tools and resources they need. And you're not going to be as nice a guy when you're under severe stress as you are when you're in your Peter Pan happy place in life.
Yeah, could be. Could be. I think so. I think that has some.
So now let's see what the results say about you. All right. So if we go in and look here, uh, you're action oriented, expressive, risk taking, relational, caring, and emotional heart side in terms of the way that you live life.
Mhm.
Now, if I go in and I look at your organization, here's some things that you are very gifted in: human relations, very gifted in sales and influence, very gifted in consulting and teamwork. Too much organization and structure can stress you out. Having to follow through and having deadlines that are very, very tight can stress you out at times, because you like that autonomy and that freedom to be able to work at your schedule and based upon your timelines rather than somebody else's.
Yeah.
Now, as we go through and we look at your style, you tend to be an action oriented, fun loving person. You can be a little scattered and unfocused at times. That's an I. I'm an I too. Uh,
Yeah.
Attention to detail can be a struggle. When it comes to selling, if it's something you see that you need, you can make a buying decision pretty quickly when it comes to that.
Yeah.
You love the here and now. Again, very action oriented. Visuals are important to you.
Yes.
Learning creative ways to do things is important. But here's the big thing that I look at. If I were going to be coaching you as a coach, if I give you too many details, I'm going to blow you up. You love some structure, but you won't give me 1, 2, 3, and let me
Yeah.
get those down, and then give me 4, 5, and 6. If you give me
Yes.
10 things all at once, it blows you up because it's more structured than you want at the moment.
Yeah.
People that are drone on and they have no expressiveness, they're very dull and boring, going to put you to sleep, and you want to get up and walk out of the room,
Yep.
or you want to throw something at them. You like to be independent and impulsive, and as a result of that, you don't like to be put in a box where you can't use your creative juices to make things happen. And so those are some things I see in terms of stressors, but you tend to take things personally at times. And that's an area that you've got to make sure that you're aware of, that if something happens and you don't get the result you want, or somebody points out something that maybe you didn't do or you could have done a little differently, rather than seeing that as a means to help you become better, you sometimes take that as a personal affront and attack. My daughter is one of my daughters is very same scoring pattern to yours. And
Yeah.
she tends
That's
to
what.
take
Yeah.
critique as a personal affront that I
That's
failed in some way.
that's 1,000% accurate. I've learned to grow from that.
And so you're learning to what we call alter, is to recognize that. In
Yeah.
terms of your needs, if I were going to serve you as a coach or as a trainer, I want to understand that these are the things that you need out of life to be able to reach your goals or objectives. From that, here are the traits that express your giftedness. So if I were going to work with you on a team, these are the areas right here that I want to make sure that I'm looking at in terms of putting you in the right seat in a group so that you can operate in the 20% of the areas that you are most gifted at. These are the areas of your superpower.
Yeah.
And then here are the things that you tend to do that are going to stress other people out that don't see the world the way you do.
Yeah. All the time with my team.
All right.
I'm just laughing.
So,
Poor details and follow up. Well, follow up, maybe I've been trained at better follow up, but yeah, poor details definitely. Let me see, John, let me see how much more time I have because I don't want to rush this. This is
sure.
important.
Yep.
I don't, I don't have anything after this. Do you have anything?
No, I'm good for the next hour. I do need to go get a bite to eat here in a little bit, but I'm good. I don't have
Okay.
anything coming up until an hour from now.
Okay.
So anyway,
Okay.
I
So,
jumped over to the leadership report, which I also shared with you, because anybody that's leading an organization or leading as an entrepreneur needs to know where they are very strong in their leadership ability and areas that they need to work on to become a better version of themselves as a leader. And so this
money management is stress. That's so funny.
and so this
Like
report is based
make a lot
upon
of money and spend it also.
yeah, you can make it, but you can also spend it because you are a giver as a rule of thumb, and people that have your attitude pattern tend to use money as a means to add value to other people, and sometimes you can do that in excess.
Hmm. Use money. Explain that a little bit. Here's what I like. I've done all personality tests. Like I've done the Enneagram. I've done Enneagram. What is the other ones? The 16 personalities one.
Mhm.
Those are the biggest. This is like probably your biggest competitors.
Now, I
Um,
would say DISC is probably our biggest competitor.
yeah, disc. But then in the online world, those two
Mhm.
are like
Yeah,
they're
and then
super
we
highly.
see I run into the Anagram from time to time. Yep, and then I
And
run into Strength Finders from time to time.
yeah, so let me tell you why yours is better from what I've heard. Number one is it's faster. So yours is faster.
3 minutes or
Yours is
less.
faster. Yours is faster. That's important. Number two, the it was the Enneagram or the 16. One of those two. Thanks to one of those two, like again, I was not a believer, but I started to understand my superpower. But this is way better explained. I
Mhm.
started understanding that people are my superpower, like just talking to people. I naturally do it, right? But they said like So let me tell you again, as a customer of all this, what they said is superpower. What's your superpower? And it said people. It said like something like people, something people. Doesn't matter,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Now
When I look
here
at
you're
it, your
saying
people and
very
causes.
gifted.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one is saying this is so much more detailed because it's telling me very gifted this, and this, and then it says this is the environments you work well,
Yes.
and then something else. They're like, yeah, just gifted and what environments you work well, what you don't work well. It's all under a page. Every like the other companies, it's like very it's all scattered. You don't
Right.
really understand, but maybe
Yeah.
it's because you were explaining it to me. But no,
Yeah.
honestly, no, I can't
Well,
really.
this is designed to teach people how to live real life. So everything we do in every report, we want it to be something that you can apply in living real life. So as an example, on the leadership deal, not only do we tell you, as I just showed you, here are the areas of your strength. Here's the areas where you're extremely gifted, moderately gifted, or areas of stress that you need to hire and have somebody in those areas of leadership, because that's not a strength of yours. Not to say that that's bad, but we all have different areas of strength. We all have areas of weakness.
Yep.
We focus in our area of strength. We hire to our areas of weakness. So people that are strong in those areas complement what we do. But we also go back and we quantify that by using an algorithm that we developed to grade your ability as a leader to lead and in what areas that you lead. And then from that, you got an opportunity to go in and see, where do I fall as a leader? And then from that, we then go in to explain how we come up with those numbers in that formula. And looking through this explains where you fall in each of those areas in terms of your strength or weakness on a scale of 1 to 5. And from that, it identifies areas that you may want to work on for self-improvement. And then
Hmm.
again, those same reports that you already saw earlier
Yeah,
are included on the back of this.
John, there was a part when where they said very gifted and stuff like that, mobility. There's
Mhm.
something that said tugboat or something like that.
Yep.
First boat, second. What
Yep.
is that?
All right. So when we look at attitude and we think about how people are hardwired, by the time you're 8 to 10 years of age, your brain as a computer has essentially been hardwired based upon the input from your parents, grandparents, your siblings, teachers, other authority figures in your life, because the brain can't filter and it doesn't know truth from untruth. Anything you're taught in the early formative years of your life, you accept as true, and that
Wow.
becomes part of your thinking process. So generationally, we pass down limiting beliefs, we pass down biases, we pass down prejudices, we pass down certain belief systems that we have that become a part of who we are. And so as we develop, all of a sudden we may realize that we have beliefs that aren't serving us well. And so part of our program is to teach you how to alter those limiting beliefs so that you can begin to rewire your brain so that it serves you better. But what we see here in the boats, and these are visuals. So we have 3 different qualifications or categories of people that we describe. There are tugboats, which are the helpers of the world. So if you think about a tugboat working in the ocean, a tugboat comes alongside of a big barge or an ocean liner, and it helps that big boat that can't move sideways. It helps that big boat do what it can't do by itself. And so tugboats are facilitators. They are connectors. They are people that are going to be very heartfelt in the way they live life. They lead with their heart. They follow with their heart. And then at some point, the brain kicks in, maybe. And so they're very heartfelt, very emotional in the way they live life, but they're all about serving humanity. So think of the tugboat that way. Now, the sailboat, if you think about a sailboat can throw up the sail and they can allow the wind to take them where the wind wants to take them. But a sailboat can also harness the wind to go where they want to go.
Hmm.
So a sailboat tends to go with the flow, but they also have the ability to adapt and to use the obstacles of life as a means to propel them forward and have an opportunity to experience more success in their life by being able to be just more carefree, or they can pivot to learning to control situations and be flexible enough to do that to gain a strategic advantage that helps them in life. So barges, on the other hand, very logical, very analytical, very task oriented. They're the exact opposite of the tugboat. So if you think about a barge going down a river or a barge going down the ocean, you get in front of a barge, it's not going to turn left or right to try to miss you like a sailboat or a tugboat will. It's just going to run over you, because a barge is concerned about one thing. I'm going to get from England to New York so I can unload my cargo. I'm going to get through this canal because I've got to go drop this cargo off at the Los Angeles port. And if you're in my way, I'm sorry, I'm just going to run over you. So barges care about people and causes, and they're people focused. I'm sorry, tugboats care about people and they're very heartfelt and emotional. Barges are very task focused. They don't care about people. They care about getting the job done. And if they hurt somebody's feelings along the way, they don't care. Now, sailboats are in the middle. Sailboat has both tendencies. They have that heartfelt tendency. They also have that task ability about them, and they can adapt based upon what's required at the time. So a sailboat is more flexible and adaptable than a barge or a tugboat, simply by the way they're hardwired. So when you're in your happy place and you're in the 20% of your giftedness, you are very heartfelt and emotional. You want to change the world. You want to serve the world. You want to make the world a better place. You care about people and causes. Under stress, you're going to become much more of a sailboat, and more of those task-oriented qualities that need to happen to serve the people and causes you care about become more important to you. Under severe stress, or what I refer to as distress, you're going to drop the emotion. You're going to drop the caring for people because you want the task to get done, because the people or cause that you care about aren't being served at the highest level. And at that point, you're going to be a meaner, nastier version of yourself than you normally are, because you're tired of those people being taken advantage of or ignored, or, not being served the way they should be served. And you can go from being Mr. Nice Guy to Mr. Ogre. And, but once you get those people taken care of, you're back to your happy self again. And people go, where'd that Arman come from? But it's because you care about people and they're not getting for them what they need, and that desired outcome isn't being achieved. So you can be a little nasty nice, and then you can get really, really nasty, and the nice goes away if you get stressed enough to make sure that you're taking care of the people that are important to you.
Wow, it's just blowing my mind. In order to take care of the people in projects too, like,
Yeah.
not necessarily. So yes, people, but like when something doesn't get done,
Yeah.
it's true.
So
Like
for you, the
not.
project is not the project, it's the people the project serves, or it's the good that project serves. That's what drives you. It's
Hmm.
not the nuts and bolts of the project itself and what it does
Yeah.
internally. What
Yes.
drives you is the outcome of what that project does and the difference it makes in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. You can see even my tonality has changed now in terms of, like, I'm already picturing an event that I was angry about. So my tonality has changed from you got me to change now to that batter man, but
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
why am I telling you that? Because like when something is not getting done, see, this is my tonality when I'm angry. Something is not getting done. I'm like, I don't give a hell. I don't give a heck. I'm gonna get it done.
Yeah.
Period.
Exactly.
Just get
Yep.
out of my way. I'm gonna get
Yep.
it done.
If you're not
So
going to do it, I'm
and
going to
that
do
is
it for you, and I'll never ask you to help me again. Yep.
yeah, and then I mean, yeah, that's not cool. That's not cool. That's so. How would you seeing that? John, here's what I realized. This is a YouTube video. Because if you're okay with it, I'm okay with it too, because it's a lot of my personality. But this part of me reacting to it,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just blown away. But how, for the people listening, how would you handle that? Okay, now that you know my faults and everything, you're my coach. Where would you start? I don't want you to tell, just give the farm, but where would you start knowing that those are my faults?
Yep. So where we would start is looking at the areas of your strength and getting you to focus there. And one of the things that I see just in looking at you, if I go back and look at your results, you are very heavily weighted to your heart and the people that you care about. And so for you, one of the things I would say to keep you from going into that place you don't want to go where you say, forget everybody else, I'm going to do it, I'll never ask you again to help me, then you want to put people around you that are going to do the tasks and that are very gifted in that area. So when you hand the project off to them, they're going to get it done because they are focused, and their driving passion is not the outcome of what that project is going to do. Their desire is, I'm going to get the project done, and the internal workings of that project are going to be right. So in looking at who you align yourself with in your business, then you want to make sure that you've got people on your team that are going to complement what you do, but are going to fill those areas of weakness. So you need to put some barges around you in your business so that when you take a project on, you're going to see what needs to be done and the outcome it's going to serve. You're going to be able to go to the team and say, this is the desired outcome I need this project to accomplish. Here's what the client wants as a result of that. Now you guys need to build the inner workings of this particular tool or project or technology that they're developing so that we create that outcome. And so whether it's a Facebook campaign, it's a marketing campaign you guys are working on and building that project, you need those very structured people behind you that take that part off, and you don't have to worry about it. But if you go surround a bunch of people just like yourself, which you have a tendency to do based upon your scoring pattern, because you're going to hire people like you because you like them, and they're going to come across as friendly. Y'all are going to have a very same view of the world. But now what have you done? You've compounded the problem because you've hired people that have the same strengths that you have, but they also have the same weaknesses. So you got to hire the barges that you may not get along with, that you may argue and fuss and complain, kind of like Ken and David. They're unique in the way they work together. Their attitude patterns are different. But where Ken is strong, David is weak. Where David is weak, Ken is strong. So together, they're greater than the sum of the individual parts. And so that's one of the things that we do with Real Life is we teach people to recognize their giftedness and where they need to hire to their areas of strength. We would also come behind that and we would work with you in a coaching program to say, here are some things that we can do. And we teach what we call an alter method. We don't believe people can change because we believe that your brain is hardwired. And while you can make some alterations, then a lot of your belief systems and the things that follow with it are going to follow you for the rest of your life. But we can learn to alter behavior. We can learn to alter limiting beliefs. We can learn to alter those nagging voices of self-doubt, whatever it is that's holding you back or whatever it is that is a deficiency in your life in terms of a weakness. We can help you grow in that area. Now, you lead with a letter I, which is the action letter. That's the communication letter. And that's your area of your superpower. Your furthest letter over is T, structure and detail. I can work on your structure and detail all day. It's never going to be as strong as your first letter because that is the area of your giftedness. That's the way God, the universe, whatever you believe, has uniquely created you to serve the world. And you've been put on this earth to accomplish things that only you with that particular pattern of skills and gifts can serve. So in doing that, we're going to help you improve in some areas of your weakness, but knowing you're never going to be able to take the areas that you're the weakest in and make that the strongest area of your life.
Wow. I'm just blown away. I'm just blown away. I have partners that are opposite to me, thankfully. Uh, but that just gets me really to think because one realization that John, I would have come sooner to if I had your report is the following. Um, I am, I am, I've never put time, like concentrated effort, I would say, into sales and
Mhm.
training, sales training, and really doing it until recently because I believed, internal belief, false belief, that at, I'm not good at making stuff on the moment. If I'm not good at making stuff on the moment when we have a sales call, I'm not going to be able to, come up with a creative response, rebuttals, etc., etc.
Mhm.
But that is actually false
That's
because when
right.
I
The
am in
survey
present,
actually shows that you're very gifted in the area of sales and marketing, but understanding and looking at the uniqueness of your pattern, It takes time for that creativity for you to reveal itself. Now, if I look at my pattern, we both lead with the letter I in terms of sales and marketing. Now, because of the arrangement of my letters and the numbers corresponding, I'm going to see something creatively a little bit faster because my brain is hardwired to go there first. Your brain's hardwired to go there second in terms of the way it thinks into creativity. And as a result of that, you're going to see what the people want. And then after you step back and collaborate in your mind with yourself and have that conversation with yourself, all of a sudden those creative things, it's not like when you poke a hole in the ground and you're drilling a well and the water comes spurting out in this big gush. That's what happens for me. But for you, it's going to trickle up slowly. But when it starts coming, it's going to keep coming, and it's going to keep coming, and it's going to keep coming. And you're going to get these creative ideas that over time continue to evolve and get better and better and better, because that's how you're hardwired to think.
So scary. I'm just debating between pushing this on YouTube or not, but I think it's going to help a lot of people. But the thing is, just want to finish that example is I believe that I'm not, good at sales and stuff like that. First, it's the lie because you haven't had enough time to develop it. Second of all, I am good at, just making stuff on the move when it comes to presentations and stuff like that. So that's a total lie that I'm not good at sales. I just haven't put, I haven't put enough time and effort and pushed towards it. But if I'm good with people, I have to be naturally good at. I love people. I like a lot of people. I care about people. I have to naturally be good at sales. It's just mentally, I think, been blocking myself. Oh, I'm not good at sales. I'm not good at sales. Blah, blah, blah. But I think it's just something huge that is happening to me.
Yeah. And probably if you go back, and we spent some time doing coaching together, if we go back, there's probably something back in the formative years of your life that a well-intentioned family member, a teacher, or some authority figure said to you in terms of, as I see you, I don't see you as a sales professional, or I don't know that this is an area you'll ever be good at. Now, when we're young, we accept that as truth because an adult speaking to us, it's true, even though it may not be. And as a result of that, we accept that as a truth in our life when it's really not true. And so
That's
there's a lot of
crazy.
things that we go through that we're dealing with limiting beliefs in our life. If you think of, my parents grew up, growing up as a kid, I always heard money doesn't grow on trees, because, my dad worked, my mom didn't, she stayed at home. So we were a one income family. They did okay. But my early formative years of understanding money was the fact that, money is something that only comes to rich people. And if you don't have a money tree in your backyard, you're going to get by, but you're never going to be able to see success in life. Well, my dad realized that early on and started buying me books that he was reading about changing his mindset around money, and started me early on in that career. And it allowed me to alter that limiting belief in terms of money doesn't grow on trees. Money is abundant and money is available for us to have as we exercise and use our giftedness. Then money comes to me as a result of that. And then I can use that to serve the greater good.
Yeah, totally. Other, John, what other limiting beliefs do you think? Please elaborate a bit on alter. What does alter mean? And then
Okay.
what beliefs do you think you have altered as you've learned about yourself? You just told me one. What is
Sure.
one other belief that you think you altered to improve yourself as a person?
One of the things that I had to learn in altering myself and looking, my attitude pattern plays it out when I look at my score in the real life management system, was that I initially didn't see myself as a leader, but I found myself leading every time I turned around. And
Mm-hmm.
finally, I had a teacher, and I was probably 9, 10 years of age, came up. No, I was probably closer to 10 or 12. And a teacher came up to me one day and said, John, I don't know if you realize it or not, but you're a natural born leader. Well, I'd never thought about that before. I'd never given any thought to the fact that, I can lead people. Well, as I stop and look back, I was writing plays when I was in the second and third grade. I started writing, plays. And when we got into the fourth grade, the teacher started asking me to perform these plays. And so I would recruit kids from the grade school and I would give them their parts and we would rehearse. And then we'd put these plays on for the entire school body. What was I doing? I was leading. And when we would be involved in Boy Scouts, they'd say, I need somebody to take a group of boys to go do this. John, can you go do that? I didn't realize it, but all those things were grooming me to become a leader. But for, a long time, even though those people were speaking, I didn't see myself as a leader. I looked at people like John Maxwell, who's now a personal mentor of mine. I looked at, other people that are big, and you can't be a leader unless you've got a national stage. And then all of a sudden I had this aha moment that everybody is leading somebody somewhere every single day. The question we've got to ask is, how well am I leading myself? Because I can't lead other people any farther or any faster than I'm leading me. And at that point, it put me on a quest to begin to learn what it means to lead, to become a better version of myself, and to really strive every day when I get up to be better than I was the day before. And that was a limiting belief for me, that when I got past that and realized I can lead, I can do the things that a John Maxwell does, that a Darren Hardy does, that another, amazing leader, a Simon Sinek does. I can do those things. My audience may not yet be that big, but I can do those very same things they do, and I can influence people. And Mom told me a few years ago, she said, John, I don't know if you remember, but one of the things I told you when you were young is, if all you do is change one life, that's enough. But if you can change one life every day over the course of a lifetime, how many lives have you changed?
Wow.
That to me was big. Yeah.
Wow. I'm just mind blown. I'm in a state of mind blownness constantly, and this hasn't happened in, in a
So
long
one other
time.
thing I'll mention, Arman, about your particular pattern, and one of the
Okay.
things that's interesting, and it
John,
plays
John,
up.
hold that thought. I hold that thought because I want people listening to just go back to what John said about you cannot lead people uh, until like you're gonna lead people. And so there's 5 levels of leadership. You're only gonna lead people till your level of leadership.
That's
If
right.
you're stuck as a leader, you're not gonna attract or talk to or deal with higher level leaders. And that's huge. That's in the
Yeah.
5 levels of leadership. You
Yeah.
guys can take a look at that. But that's so powerful. And one more thing I want to add is totally related to what you said there is um, people think that a leader. So here's what I thought what a leader means. I guess 5 years ago, I'm in my 20s, not 19, 18, whatever. I thought leadership, when someone told me leadership, I thought leadership was a white man in their 60s with a suit on talking about abstract concepts. That's what I thought leadership is. But John Maxwell, and as you said, puts it very simple. Leadership is influence.
Nothing
That's
more,
it.
nothing less. Yep.
And when you just change leadership with influence, all of a sudden everything starts making sense in every area of your life.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. If you think of a parent, you are leading your children. If you're an older child, you're leading your younger siblings. If you are a teacher, you're leading the students in the classroom. If you are an employer, you're leading your employees. If you are a pastor, you're leading your congregation. We're all leading in different capacities, but we don't realize we're leading. Many people think they got to have a title to be a leader. Mark Sanborn wrote a great book, You Don't Need a Title to Be a Leader. Great read, but it's true. Leadership is influence, and every day we're influencing other people. And you're absolutely right, Arman. If you're a level 3 leader, then and you've created this lid, you're never going to make a level 4 leader underneath you, because now they just passed you and you're following them. So you're absolutely right. But one of the things I did want to go back to in your particular pattern are the negative emotions that can come up under stress and how they can negatively influence the choices you make. We teach an ABC model that we call attitudes plus beliefs plus your choices drive you to your destiny. All right. So every day when you get up, 50% of every choice that you make during the day is based upon your attitude, your internal hardwiring.
Mhm.
Another 30% are based upon the belief system that came out of your attitude. So as a result of that, 80% of the choices you make every day are based upon your attitude and the beliefs that support it. So if you have limiting beliefs that come from your attitude about money, about relationships, about careers, about health and wellness, about leadership, spirituality, whatever it may be in that facet of life, and the limiting beliefs that come with that, or the abundant beliefs that come with that, those are going to dictate the choices you make. So if you think about that, every day, only 20% of the choices you make, Armand, that I make every day, and everybody makes that's listening to this video, are independent of our attitude and our beliefs. Now, we all have a destiny that we want to achieve in life, and that's the D, the ABCD. But we're never going to get to our destiny if we don't learn to alter our attitude so that we can change those limiting beliefs so that they serve us, and we can replace those with beliefs that serve us at a higher level and serve us better. And so sometimes our choices cause us to detour from the destiny that we want for our lives. And we end up, instead of being on the interstate highway to abundance or the interstate highway to success, we detour into areas of life that we end up making bad choices. But what happens is we all deal with negative beliefs in our lives and emotions that come from that. And under stress or distress, people with a similar pattern to you oftentimes lead with guilt. They feel guilty that they let somebody down. And then as a result of feeling guilty about letting somebody down, they then become angry at themselves. And they oftentimes turn that anger in on themselves that I let those people down, I didn't follow through. And as a result of my gift, I become angry with me. And then in a means to deal with that anger, we turn to a drug of choice. It could be alcohol. It could be tobacco. It could be illicit drugs. It could be food. It could be spending. It could be exercise. It could be anything we do in excess to make us feel good for the moment. But as we go through these negative emotions, all of a sudden we engage in choices and behaviors that take the detour even further the wrong direction. So we teach this alter method because ultimately at the end of the day, you go from guilt to anger, and then you go from anger to fearful that these people aren't going to be your friends. They're not going to trust you. They're not going to ask for your help anymore because in some way you feel personally responsible that you failed them and you didn't do exactly what you felt like you should have done. And we all deal with those emotions in different arrangements. But as a result of that, they drive us the wrong way. So part of what we teach is an alter method to learn to acknowledge that there's things we need to know about ourselves. And then from that, we want to learn new information. From that, we want to create a tactical plan so that we can begin to change our thinking process, to alter our attitude, to replace our limiting beliefs, to make better choices. We then execute that plan, and then we reevaluate where we are and go back through the process again and again. That's how we become a better version of ourselves.
Yeah, I love that. And you'll have on your screen you have attitudes, beliefs, and choices,
That's right.
right? The cycle.
That's our
Is that
ABC.
what you're talking?
Absolutely. Yep. Your attitudes. So think about it this way. Everything starts with a thought. Our thoughts become our attitudes. It's the lens through which we view the world. Our attitude about money, about relationships, about all the other things that we experience in life. Those attitudes now create the belief system that we have that creates those limits in our lives that hold us back from seeing the success that we want. The attitudes drive the beliefs drive the choices, and the choices reinforce the attitude. And so it becomes this circle of life that if we want to have a better outcome, we want to have a better destiny, we start with altering the attitude, which then changes the beliefs, which leads to us making better choices, which reinforces the fact that we've altered attitude for the better, which allows us to better improve our belief system and stretch the boundaries of what we believe is possible to make even better choices. So we can get it going in the right way, but far too many people have that circle going in the wrong direction, and they end up living life far below their potential.
Yeah, whether you can or you can't, you're absolutely right.
That's right. Yeah. Chris Robinson, one of my mentors, says this. He says, it's not that you can't, it's that you won't. And that choice is yours. And that is a powerful quote. And I use it often when I'm talking to folks because it's not that we can't. We've got it within us to alter our attitude. We've got it within us to change our belief system over time and to make better choices. It's not that we can't do it. It's that we choose not to do it. And that's a choice we get to make every single day
And
because
that's where,
we choose our choices.
yeah, that's where people don't want to take personal
That's right.
responsibility
Yeah. You know,
because all
Carly Fiorina in her book, Find Your Way, she was the CEO of Hewlett Packard for a number of years. She said the status quo has great power. And our brain loves the status quo because it doesn't have to work as hard. So our attitude and beliefs create habits. And we spend 90 to 95% of our lives in autopilot, engaging in habitual choices that we do every day without thinking. And then we wonder why life doesn't change. But she says leaders challenge the status quo to change things for the better. Carl Jung said, and I'll paraphrase it, he said, there are things in life that happen to us. And until we make the unconscious, that where we're living life on autopilot, until we make that conscious and we think into the thoughts that shape our attitudes, that shape our beliefs, that shape our choices, until we make those things conscious, we simply accept it and call it fate. When it's not fate, it's a choice. And life is choices and consequences. We choose our choices, and the consequences of our life happen as a result of those choices. So if you don't like the consequences of your life, the only way those consequences are going to change is to alter your choices.
wow, yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. One last thing I want to ask you about. Just give me one example of changing attitudes, which then changes beliefs, which then produces better choices. Could
Sure.
be anything. I mean, but I want to hear it from you.
Absolutely. So we teach altering. We don't believe you can change your attitude, but we believe you can
Oh,
alter it. All right. But as you alter your attitude, it's going to change your beliefs, which is the hardwiring of where your brain goes to access that information. And so one of the areas that we teach in real life when we're talking about the alter method is to get people to alter their view of the world around them. Going back to what I said earlier about, growing up, my parents, their parents came through the Great Depression. And as a result of that, money for them was a very scarce commodity. And so my parents brought that into their belief system and initially passed that on to me. So altering an attitude for me was altering my attitude to believe that money wasn't scarce, but that money is abundant and that there's plenty of money to go around for anybody and everybody in the world that learns to develop a skill set that's marketable and that you can take to the marketplace and sell. But until my attitude, that I had to change it from money doesn't grow on trees, I had to change that attitude from believing that as an attitude that shaped that belief until that was altered to see differently that money is a tool that I can use to not only help me, but I need money to make a difference in the world because I've got to have money to get on an airplane to go to Cameroon to go work with the people I love to work with over there. If I want to go to Guatemala, my good looks aren't going to get me on a United flight. I've got to shell out green cash. So altering that attitude that reshaped that belief all of a sudden opened up doors for me in terms of understanding something unique about me that altered the way that I live life.
Yeah, this is amazing. I want to wrap up with I just again my mind is blown, so I don't want to say anything or say blabs or whatever. I just want to go and say, okay, great, people. We're gonna leave the link uh, for people to go and make the test. Okay, tell people what's gonna happen. They're gonna go fill in the test. As I said earlier, I took like 30 minutes to do 20 minutes to do the other tests. So this is a 3 minute test. That in itself is pretty cool. The way it's formatted is very clear. You understand what you're getting. You understand next steps. Um, tell people what they're get so they feel that out what they're getting and what are the next steps for them.
As a result of going to reallifemanagement.com, that's the website. For 30 years, we've been helping people understand how they live real life and giving them an opportunity to live it to the fullest. So going to reallifemanagement.com, they're going to take a 3-minute survey. It's exactly what you said, Armand. They're going to go to the website. They'll see a little button that says take the 3-minute survey, and they're going to go take a 3-minute survey. It's very simple to take. What we found over hundreds of thousands of surveys is we're between 90 and 94% accurate in our assessments in terms of looking at how people live life and how we can help them. Once they take the 3-minute survey, they're going to put in a username and a password and a way that we can connect with them. And then they're going to get a 1-page copy of their real life management report. It's a summary page that tells them this is how at a 30,000 foot level you live real life. From that, we'll do a follow-up with them by email, giving them an opportunity if they want to purchase one of the 2 reports that we looked at in terms of your reports. They can have an opportunity to access our coaching report, and they can also have an opportunity to access our leadership report. We'll give them a link where they can do that. And then if they also at the same time want to go through a debrief, then there's an opportunity where they can book a 30-minute call on my calendar to have an opportunity to go through a debrief where we'll walk through their assessment just like we've done with yours, answer their questions, and give them an opportunity to understand how they live real life.
That's amazing. Here's my experience. Here's why I'm a fan right now, without much consideration. Of course there is consideration, but I'm a fan right now because I've seen what's out there. Basically, I've done the DISC one, I've done the 16 personalities one, I've done the Enneagram. They're good, but here's the faults that John right now is feeling, which are awesome. Number one, it's quick. Number two, results are structured. You know exactly, like it's very clear what you should focus on, what you should not focus on, or delegate, or modify, as John said. And number three is personal touch. Like, oh my God, like I can ask John questions, and I don't know if this is, you guys should take advantage right now before John changes his mind and doesn't give his time away for whatever he did. Like, oh my God, like I should pay like what, $500 or $1,000 for this, and it's a freaking deal. So you don't have that capability on those. I'm telling you right now, you don't have that capability to take a person and say, what does that mean? What does this mean? What does that mean? How can I, how does this apply to me? He answered all my questions here. Just like if you're in a position where you're a leader, you're a CEO, and you want to understand all this and just take it to the next level, I highly recommend it. And that would be my last words. I don't know if you have anything else to add, John.
Well, Arman, I thank you for the opportunity just to do an impromptu interview like this. Think about this. If you are an employer and you're looking to hire people, wouldn't it be great to know the people that you're going to hire actually have the skill set to do the job you're trying to hire them for? If you've got a team, wouldn't it be great to know that the people on your team are actually serving in the area of their greatest giftedness? Or are you underperforming as an organization because you've got great people, but you don't have them positioned properly so they can shine at the highest level and serve your audience and your customers at the very best and the highest level that they can? That's another tool that we do. And that's another resource that we have with Real Life Management that's available, is to help organizations create high performance teams that understand and value the uniqueness of each other, learn how to work together and improve communication so that everybody is in the right seat in the rowboat. And as you're racing down the river, you're going to be the first group to cross the finish line.
Yeah, totally. And as you guys see, this was a call me and John just had. Like, we weren't planning to. This is like, again, this was not planned, but it just turned out so well. I want people to people to see my reaction at the beginning of just being blown away, because that's the best thing. That's the best sales letter. That's the best sales presentation, when someone is blown away at what they're seeing and how accurate it is. That's it, because otherwise, how can you transmit that? You cannot transmit that. So that's, although I'm a bit comfortable sharing what this is, maybe we can blur some of that after the video is produced or something like that. But no, it's just this. I'm doing this for everyone else listening. I'm doing you guys a favor now, revealing a little bit of what we have here. Take action. Let me know how it goes. Let us know how it goes, and we'll go from there. Thank you so much for you guys listening. We'll talk soon.
Absolutely. Armand, thank you for being transparent and allowing us to talk to people about how you live real life and giving them an opportunity to realize they live real life too, but they may live it different than you. And that's okay. We're all unique and different. We've all been made differently. But when we learn how we live real life, we live it to its fullest.
I love that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.